always say, every day is for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. But ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, has reversed the role. It is now every day for the owner of the house. If you're involved in bribery, over-invoicing, or any shady deal, the day of reckoning has come. ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission, is watching you. If you're reported for any corrupt practice, you'll be investigated, prosecuted, and punished. Corruption is harmful to our nation. Join the campaign against it by reporting any corrupt practice to ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Let we join hands with ICPC, make them better.
Let's make Nigeria great again.
ICPC, they watch you.
One hand for corruption.
Break the chain of corruption now. Don't give, don't take. This message is brought to you by ICPC, the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Section 22, subsection 5 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 states that any public officer who transfers or spends any sum allocated for a particular project or service on another project or service shall be guilty of an offence under this act. It is unfortunate that some government functionaries, chief executive officers of government agencies, and political office holders are yet to come to terms with the fact that it is an offense to transfer funds from one subhead of the budget to another without the approval of the National Assembly. That is VIREMENT. And this is our area of focus on this week's edition. Welcome to Corruption Must Go, ICPC's weekly television program. I am Hawasani Garba, your host for today's edition. First, Joy Aja is here with details on happenings around the Commission.
Hello viewers, thank you for staying with us. My name is Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. The chairman of ICPC, Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu SAN, has ascribed the current economic challenges faced by the nation to corruption. The ICPC chairman said this during a courtesy visit by members of the Center for Journalism Innovation and Development, CJID, to the Commission's headquarters recently. Dr. Ali, who was represented by the Secretary to the Commission, Mr. Clifford Okudiri Okparudu, said that Nigeria was facing the realities of corruption, which had drastically affected the development of the economy. He therefore encouraged Nigerians to be patient while ensuring that they contribute their quota to the ongoing reform of the nation.
The issue of corruption and corrupt practices is a problem. It's a problem, it's an endemic that's taking all of us, and it's no gainsaying that we are facing the realities of hard time in the country. When policies are made and they are not followed to the letter, of course, that brings out, corrupt practices are likely to flow from there. It's very obvious. And when some of these things are done, in terms of policies, and then projects are being designated and cited and all that, our people, because of corrupt practices, have a tendency to abuse it. So it's very important that all of us have to put our heads together and put very strenuous efforts to see that we bring these things to public domain.
Earlier in his remarks, the leader of the team and CEO of CJID, Mr. Dapo Yomi, stated that the visit was aimed at strengthening the already existing relationship between the organization and the ICPC, as well as to identify areas to assist the Commission in the tracking of constituency and executive projects.
Also, we think that because of the work you do, obviously there will be need for a lot more direct engagements with citizens. I know that as important as you do the work, it is never, you will never be able to, probably you're still under 2,000 or 3,000 in all, so there's a need to find mechanisms, and we can offer third-party roles in this regard to help, extend the work that you do. There are quite a lot of red flags that we notice in budgets, and we can say it. We can see it. We can help the media to see it, and hopefully write about it in a way that is constructive and helpful. But I think, given the statutory role that you have, this is what we think you can help clear some of those kinds of red flags that often come up.
ICPC has urged students of secondary schools in Lagos State to lead by example to foster a culture of integrity and to combat corruption from the grassroots level. The ICPC Lagos State office gave this charge during the inauguration of schools anti-corruption clubs in 22 public schools and the revitalization of the clubs of 7 senior secondary schools within Ekpe, Lagos State, in collaboration with the Lagos State Ministry of Education recently. ICPC representatives Mrs. Mary Omonoyan and Mrs. Sheyi Ade Adams stressed the importance of ethical values and integrity within schools. During the lecture titled Fight for Your Dreams and Your Future, students were encouraged to embrace contentment as a value that brings peace, confidence, trust, and high self-esteem. Taking an oath of membership, the students declared their commitment to upholding integrity, honesty, and good character, particularly in matters concerning exam malpractice. The inauguration ceremonies, which held at Ekpe Senior Grammar School, Ekpe, and Agbowa Community Grammar School, Agbowa, underscored the commitment of both ICPC and the Lagos State Ministry of Education to combat corruption and promote integrity among youths. That will be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues with Hawa. Please stay with us.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
If you are just tuning in, this is Corruption Must Go. Our focus is on VIREMENT. The financial regulations prescribes a number of rules and regulations to guide public servants in the use of public funds. It includes conditions for the granting of VIREMENT. Our Corruption Must Go crew spoke to the Acting Director, Finance and Accounts Department of ICPC, who explains what VIREMENT is and under what conditions it could take place. Take a listen.
VIREMENT is the transfer of surplus from a subhead that has a surplus to a subhead in the same head that has a deficit. after passing through the National Assembly. The budget we do is an estimate. At the time of making that estimate, you are not perfect. But one thing that must be taken note of is from a subhead of a particular head to another subhead of the same head, the one that has surplus to the one that has deficit. So the possibility of surplus and deficit is possible. But the issue is that budget is an act of appropriation of National Assembly. That is why when that virement is to take place, the attention of National Assembly is required. If virement is done on a nationwide, that's when we talk about the public being aware. But in most cases, it is on NDA basis. And if it is on NDA basis, it's not going to be a public affair. It's going to be a public affair by people following the process. Maybe people hearing that we went to National Assembly. Otherwise, it is the vote that the vote keeper will report that year is going and there is shortage in this, we can't allocate any money because we have exhausted. And this one still have money. In the same head, that is what is important. For example, if it is overhead, it must be in overhead. If it is capital, it must be in capital. If it is in personnel, it must be in personnel. Not from overhead to personnel or from personnel to capital or capital to overhead. It's not vice versa. It must be on that particular head.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
This is Corruption Must Go. Despite the provision of the law, some public officers willfully carry out this virement under the guise of ignorance. What are the legal implications? An ICPC prosecutor speaks further.
Section 22.5, that's sub 5 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, prohibits public servants, because basically virement has to do with budgeting, yes, and it is public servants that implement budget. So it prohibits public servants, anybody, politicians, whoever is within the public space, from moving money meant for one project to another. Like I said, Section 22 sub 5 of the ICPC Act. Our Constitution, Section 36(12), it says you cannot charge anybody for an offense that does not have penalty. So for you to bring somebody to court, there must be an offense, and now there must be a section prescribing punishment. So for the offense of virement, that same section or subsection 22.5 provides for punishment of 1 year imprisonment or fine of 50,000 naira, if convicted. So it's in lieu, either 1 year imprisonment or fine of 50,000 naira. So it provides for punishment under that subsection. I will start with saying yes, and there are a couple of cases, and so many ongoing too. In 2010, I think that was the first major case where we secured conviction. Ajeshigri against Federal Republic of Nigeria. It has to do with a local government chairman who moved funds meant for a particular project for another project. He was convicted by the High Court in Abeokuta he appealed. In fact, the Court of Appeal in 2010 affirmed his conviction. Now, also in 2019, a very recent case, Federal Republic of Nigeria again against John Ayode Shamonda, the former DG of Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency. He was convicted for varying about the sum of 603 million naira, meant for other services. And then there are a whole lot of other cases that are ongoing. Now, the question was about conviction, so we are not going to talk about the ones that are ongoing, and then some of them are on appeal. So for our purpose, these two cases, Ajeshigri against FRN versus John Ayode Shamonda, the Commission has secured conviction on those areas.
If you are just joining us, you are watching Corruption Must Go. Very recently, ICPC arraigned one Mr. Bola Audu over an alleged 72 million naira fraud. In this segment, we shall be looking at the opportunity cost of corruption in the sum of 72 million naira, allegedly mismanaged by Mr. Audu. ICPC Quantity Surveyor Baba Jibrin explains further.
The opportunity cost of losing such funds, such amount of money to corruption would mean the opportunity to have sunk on average of 20 to 25 pieces of boreholes in a community. At 3 million naira. So we're looking at about 20 to 25 boreholes that would have been lost. Similarly, in the construction of classrooms, with the current economic situation of the country, the rate at which the cost of building materials have gone up, I would assume nothing less than 2 sets of 3 block of classrooms at that time. So you can imagine the implication it has on education and potable drinking water to any community. So it is humongous. In terms of value to the people, and I think if that amount can be saved, it will go a long way in touching the lives of the citizens. So, understanding the opportunity cost of losing this against what the communities would have benefited, I will only advise Nigerians everywhere in this country to put hands together, to join hands with the corruption agencies, because this implicates on our coexistence, our socio-economic development. It denies the people the basic amenities of life, which we are all yearning for. And so, where opportunities avail to inform and cooperate with anti-corruption agencies, anti-graft agencies, I think it makes sense for every Nigerian to facilitate and participate and bring forth information that would help curb this kind of pilfering of public funds, so we can have better living standard for our people.
That's our package on this week's edition. No matter the temptation, let us learn to say no to corruption and follow the rules and regulations guiding our work. That is integrity. Nigeria is the only country we have. Let's join hands to make our nation great and habitable for all. You can get in touch with us on 080022554272 for your comments, questions, and contributions. Visit us on our social media platforms at ICPC Nigeria as displayed on the screen. Thank you for watching, and let's do it again next week, 3:30 p.m. I am Hawasani Garba saying bye for now.